Alrighty, howdy neighbors and welcome to First Snow. This is a game where we just finished high school and now we're trying to figure out our lives. Very relatable. Let's go. The first snow of the year should be a comforting sight, yet this carries a different feeling when so far from home. Winter has always been my favorite time of the year, but the joy of warm fires and upcoming holidays is missing. There's only a month left to go until the season begins in earnest, but I can't feel any of the usual excitement. The coming winter will be the first I've spent away from my family after all. It's just me now, standing alone on a concrete balcony and looking out under the gray sky.
Hey, Allison! Aren't classes soon?
A woman's barking from down below breaks me from my thoughts. A familiar figure, clad in leather, stares up. Snow heaps on the rusted shovel in her hands. Looks like the heating's died again. Inside of the apartment, no warmer than out there. This new home might be a little shabby, but at least it's ours. A quick glance at my phone as I walk to get my coat and bag confirms her to be right. The morning's message from a friend still showing up on the screen. Big news, yay, yay, yay. I'll tell you later in bio, yay, yay. I love the keychain. Instead of reading, I'm just looking at the cat. The idea of big news at this of all times fills me with worry. I'm already too busy just trying to keep up with my new life. With time rushing on, I quickly slip the phone back into my coat and set off for the stairs. I shouldn't have a problem making it to class if I keep a good pace. The busily shoveling woman is still working away, her efforts obvious to see. The snowfalls have been impressive for a single night, but a good amount's already been cleared. Heavy breathing, easily visible in the cold air. Give me a brisk pace, as much to get to my class on time as it is to try to warm myself up. Try to wave a quick goodbye. It's obvious she won't let me go without giving her 2 cents, though. As she puts her shovel against the wall, it takes a good stretch.
Morning, Rose. Working hard already?
Hey, someone's gotta do it. Not like those useless lumps will.
Rose shooks her head toward the apartments. She's not really wrong. The usual tactlessness is on full display.
You all bundled up? Looks like winter's coming early going by the paper.
I'll be fine, don't worry.
Just take it easy on the way there, right?
I will.
A weak smile is her response as I start off down the road. She knows that I'm right. This is hardly the first exchange we've had like this. Every other morning, Rose comes up with something or another to definitely not be concerned about. I don't mind, though. That kindness is one of her better traits. The weather's been getting steadily colder for a while now. The few workers braving the morning chill are slowly making their way down to the bus station for work. Those staying behind grumbling as they shovel snow from the roofs of the car and the driveways. There aren't many students down this way as I walk, however. Student accommodation filled up fast, and the nearby apartments are all rented out soon after that. Thank goodness for a family friend offering to let me live with them. Helpful as Rose may be, there's still some sense of being a foreigner. It's only been 2 months since I moved in and started classes at college. My circle of high school friends and boisterous family home turning overnight to a cramped apartment shared between Rose and I. As school buildings came into view, I joined the tired masses staggering through the gates and toward their classes. As much as I might worry, I know I'm not alone. I'm sure many of the students around me right now are going through exactly the same thing. It's only now that I realize I haven't had my usual morning coffee back at the apartment to wake myself up. With little time before biology class starts, I have to content myself to a quick can of soda from the vending machine. I have a can of soda right here. What up, baby? Heading over to the Union Building on the way to class. The morning chills driven away. The usual gaggle of those sitting on the stairs are blocking the entrance. Rubbing my hands together to summon some warmth, I head on in. With the heating being cranked right up, I can almost forget it's winter outside. My relief doesn't last long, however. My heart nearly stops. The deafening clatter comes from ahead. A couple walking arm in arm skirt around the edge of the room, doing their best not to draw attention to the blonde woman nearby. She grumbles loudly before delivering another kick to the poor, abused vending machine in front of her. I hate situations like these. Either I do nothing and feel bad for not helping, or step in and deal with the stress that comes with confronting someone involved. As I try to work my way out of this, my heart freezes as the woman locks eyes with me. I must make for a pitiable sight, with my hands raised defensively in front of me, her rage calming as she settles for staring daggers at the machine. Resigned to my fate, I reluctantly shuffle toward her as my heart beats wildly. As I do, her dour look is only made all the more intimidating from the bags under her eyes.
Is something wrong?
Stupid thing ate my money. No can or change at all. Threw $5 in there, too.
Unfortunate, dude.
The vending machine here messes up sometimes. It's usually better to go through to the cafeteria for drinks.
They should fix it then.
Counting the event only serves to stir up her annoyance, with the foot being jammed into the accused. The horrible noise makes you cringe again. I'm starting to worry she'll hurt herself as much as the machine itself.
Don't kick it again!
Why not? Thing's already broken, isn't it?
I want to say that I'd rather not get in trouble with the staff, but I get the feeling that wouldn't faze her. Reviewing my options as quickly as I can, there's only one solution I can think of that might settle her down. I probably shouldn't, but if nobody's paying much attention...
Which drink did you want?
She gives me a curious look after I manage to squeak the words out, but eventually points.
I was just grabbing a lemonade on the way out.
Could you turn around for a moment?
With reluctance, she turns away as I ask. Yeah, she could work out what I'm doing by looking, but it's better safe than sorry. With my eyes slightly mouthing the right sequence to make sure that I didn't mess it up, I go about my business. With any luck, the software inside hasn't been updated since I last tested this. A long sigh of relief passes my lips, the vending machine rattles away, loudly dumping a can into the small opening. One the can before the blonde woman's face as she turns back around. My reward is a somewhat impressed expression as she takes the item. Now that she has a drink, and had a chance to get her frustration out of her system, she seems to be calming a little. Her height doesn't help her look any less intimidating, though. With that, I consider the matter settled as I nod and begin to walk away. Only as I leave do I realize my heart's racing after having to deal with her.
Hey, wait up!
Reaching for my instinctual response, I pretend not to hear her as I skitter away, disappear back through the entrance. The cold just feel like a wall as I leave the door. I hardly mind heaving a sigh to steady myself as I head toward classes. I remember now that I'd intended to grab a drink myself, but fiddling with the machines probably made me too late. The empty campus grounds make me nervous, making me take my phone and head check the time. A quick glance is all that's needed to send me dashing toward the science building. It's gonna be one of those days. It happens. Hello, only other person in the room. How are you doing? Paying for the run, I stagger into biology class with as much composure as I can muster. The sight seems to make a pitiable impression on the professor, who merely nods for me to take a seat. Sitting in my bag next to me, quickly take a seat. Oh my god, what? Please. Setting my bag next to me, I quickly take the seat next to a now familiar figure. The diminutive Caprice shoots a grin and a wave as I sit, earning a smile in return. It's nice to see a friendly face. As the professor gets back to lecturing, I grab my still pristine textbook from my bag, looking through to the bookmark I'd added from where we currently are. Moving for the corner of my eye takes my attention, a red piece of sketchpad sliding before me. Oh no, your perfect attendance record. What happened? Is that a hamster? A hamster ghost? The writing is written by various doodles and scribbles already on the page. I should pay attention in class. It isn't that easy to wave Capri off. And again, this is largely reviewing what we already covered in high school right now. Well, it wouldn't hurt to chat with her for a bit. I held up by someone. I write a brief reply and a little accompanying drawing before sliding it back over. Quick look to the professor, making sure the coast is clear as he drones on. Capri's reply as the page is passed back makes you grimace. I should have expected that. I was replied before noticing the professor casting a knowing glance my way as he continues with his teaching. He knew what we were doing, didn't he? Thinking better of it, I took the page beneath my textbook and started listening properly. I will need to look at Capri to know a reaction. I hardly think worse of her for it, though. Swapping doodles during classes was how she broke the ice with me, when I was just another lonely freshman student. A shy one at that. Given we're still friends, I suppose it worked. Seeing a glance back at the page underneath my book reminds me of how well the Mercurial girl can draw, at least compared to me. She mentioned one time she is also taking art classes, which must be paying off. Before I knew it, the class starts winding up. The students begin to get distracted as time goes on. The professor soon started to wrap things up in response. No sooner did the words come from his mouth that the class is over. Does the loud clatter of people packing books and pens into the bags and backpacks begin. Capri was no time in talking as the two of us do the same.
I was worried you were sick today, Allie.
It was only a couple of minutes.
For you, that's a lot.
Here's the point. It's likely I was more concerned about this than the teacher. After near perfect attendance through high school, though, the last thing I want is to set a bad expectation for the staff here.
Setting that aside, I'm not sure the professor really likes us passing notes to each other in class.
Oh, don't worry about him. He's cool. We've talked.
Well, if you're sure, I do like seeing your drawings.
Aw, and I like seeing yours. I'm glad you're here today, actually. I've been thinking, and I need your help with something. We're making an art club.
Hell yeah.
But there's already an art. Wait, why is there a we there? How am I part of this?
You're a founding member, of course.
Why do I get the feeling Capri has been mulling this over in her head for ages? Plans seem to already be in motion for her, and I'm not sure I have a choice. What choice I have left in this? I move to mull things over as I take my coat from the back of my seat and slip it on. Two of us taking our bags and joining the others, then heading out into the hallway. I had considered joining a club, let alone starting one up, with all the work that entail. Okay, I'll read it. I can help, but I have my schoolwork to concentrate on, you know. Getting a scholarship wasn't easy. I'd rather not waste it. Ah, right. You're majoring in chemistry, weren't you? I give a nod, albeit a slightly guilty one. Not that I'd dare have told my family. I only picked chemistry because I happen to be good at it. Like most things in life, I just went with the default option before me. At least Capri seems to have moved on from me being a part of this. I have enough going on in my life between moving to a new house and studying for college to think about spending time in clubs and things. I'm surprised you're taking biology classes, to be honest. Aren't you more into art? You have to do your prerequisites, dude. It's hard to pick a favorite, but right now bio is just entry-level stuff, so it's boring, right? I talked to the professor though, and we're getting into some marine life chapter soon. That seems very specific.
Yeah!
It's the most interesting part. I gotta focus hard when we get there. I plan on making it my major. So even a free spirit like Capri has something she's working toward. It seems like I can't get away from how much of a mess my life is, with no idea what I want to do for a career. The two of us head outside, with our next classes in other buildings. As we do, I look about warily as students from other classes pass by. I'd rather not bump into that angry woman again. Who are you held up with anyway? Bump into a friend? That would require there to be another beyond her in the first place. She was the last person I'd call a friend. Kinda scary, actually. Would have been asking out of small talk before. Now I have a full interest. With reluctance, I think back to the event. Not sure if you know her. Tall, blonde, green eyes, very sharp look, with high boots. Kinda pretty. I don't have time to think though. She was quite beautiful. More than a body, too. Like her sense of fashion. I think I know who you're talking about, actually.
Huh?
You do? Yep. Our other founding member. Hasn't dropped the idea of me joining at all. Now wants her of all people to be part of this. My reaction to the news apparently shows on my face. If we're thinking of the same person, I've seen her around, and I've heard some things. She floats around the art department a lot, and the other art club tried to grab her. She didn't even pretend to consider it. This woman to get lost. Which means she's still free. She already rejected one club. Why would she join another?
Exactly!
Because it's led by me, of course. Oh, I see the ego is not hurt. I just sigh. I need to get to my next class. Being late for one today is already too much. Resigned my fate, I wave goodbye and start to head off. More than a couple of seconds later, I hear her calling out behind me. Before you go, meet me on the second floor of the arts building after classes, okay? We need to get started on finding a club room and stuff. Looks like I'm gonna be part of the scheme whether I like it or not. Dealing with that woman again makes me shudder. But surely she'll reject Capri, and that'll be that. The festive. Walking through the halls at these hours is a wholly different experience than the normal hustle and bustle. Where students gossiped in the hallways, organized dates, and hurried between classes with arms full of overpriced textbooks. There's no sweet silence. All to be seen at this hour is an odd straggler thinking more about dinner than homework. Me. Me right now? Well, them and the Christmas decorations. I get the feeling that the arts and humanities stuff takes some enjoyment out of getting ready for the occasion. Much like the school itself, the decorations look a bit ragged. Probably hauled out every year for decades. Little to do until Capri shows up, exploring the arts building and peering into the classrooms, or that winds up passing time. Heading up the stairs, I take my time strolling through the hallways. Everything is bathed in the orange of sunset. The quiet of the halls giving the building a serene atmosphere. It's calming after the day's events. It isn't until a good few minutes that I find the first thing of interest. A single room with the door left open. Curiosity getting the better of me, I stroll up the hallway and gingerly step inside. Least I could do is close it for them. Only a handful of chairs actually set against tables. I think the room unused if it weren't for paints and papers, and sketchbooks strewn across the tops of the cupboards. If Capri wanted a club room, it would be as good as any. As I peer about, the sight of one particular canvas amongst it all catches my attention. It's a painting of a woman standing in water, sits dragging on the easel. The painter's utensils still lying about. Stepping up to it, I'm surprised by how old-fashioned it is. It's the kind of oil painting that would be drawn a century or so ago. Every brushstroke and line has a depth to it. The painter's every movement clearly visible. I find myself struck by its beauty, time slipping by me as I stare at her. Her soft-looking skin and flowing locks of hair are enough to make me wistfully sigh, her face telling of her free spirit. It's beautiful. My thoughts are suddenly interrupted by the creaking of the door opening further, causing me to whip around in fright. The particular person standing in the doorway, looking straight at me, does nothing to settle my racing heart, much less the fact that I'm not even supposed to be in here. Sorry, I mean... They try to stammer out something, but the words keep catching in my throat. Oh, it's Vending Machine Girl. Allison.
Hi?
Allison Merlot. You do have a name. I'm Eileen Turner. For what it's worth. Really not. All my nervousness might... Oh, for all my nervousness about maybe being somewhere I shouldn't, Eileen doesn't actually seem to care that much. In fact, she almost looks bored. If this room's used by a bunch of people, there's a good chance she might not know I'm an intruder. Well, I'm gonna close the place up. If you want anything, you should grab it. Not that I think you have anything here. Cool edge to her voice freezes my entire body.
Wait!
I mean, I can explain. Eileen narrows her eyes and crosses her arms, waiting for my response. A response which is interrupted by a familiar voice booming from the entrance.
Allie!
Hey, Allie. I don't think I've ever been so glad to see Capri. Maybe this art club business was her idea. It's for the best that she explains it all. Eileen doesn't look impressed as Capri skips into the room, looking this way and that like some tourist. Good work, you already found us a room. This'll work perfectly. So, Capri got herself a new goon. Wish I was surprised.
Yeah!
Yep. Not supposed to agree with that. And what do you want from this room? Oh, what do you want this room for? Pray tell. Well... The current art club is awful. I'm sure you know. Instead of dealing with them, we're gonna form our own. And it looks like you and Allie found us our club room. I see what happened here now. Capri engineered the situation, so we'll all be here together. This isn't a very subtle scheme. That's all the more reason for her to have come up with it. I try my best to backpedal, in a way that don't upset either. I just thought we'd draw a bit, didn't mean to intrude.
Seriously?
I have permission to use this room to practice my painting. For some dumb club.
Cool!
But it's 2 against 1. Majority rule. I didn't say anything about a club. Well, too bad. This is a dictatorship. Eileen stands her ground, staring down her opponent, as I try my best to stay well out of their argument. Her resolve doesn't last long, though. Realizing the futility of it, she eventually heaves a sigh at Caprice's antics. I can't say I wholly blame her. I just want to work in peace. That isn't much to ask.
Come on!
But I'm going. Not gonna get anything more done today anyway. Eileen turns to me before picking up her coat from the desk and pulling her scarf around her, rather pointedly being finished with Capri.
Bye.
See you around, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah. Bye-bye! At a loss for how I'm supposed to respond to such an unenthusiastic tone, I'm left standing silently by as a frustrated Eileen throws her backpack over her shoulder and strides out. Capri just smiles and shrugs as she looks back at me. The argument they had just moments ago flowing off like water off a duck's back. Well, that's how it is. I feel like I got dragged into something. I didn't really think that'd work, but it was worth a try. Wow, fucking dick! He's not listening to me at all. Am I really just an instrument to try and win this argument between them? Nah, I can't think about that. Capri is forceful, but she means well. If this did end up being a club, I'd probably enjoy it. Capri certainly wouldn't make it dull. And I think if Eileen got to know me, she'd be nicer to me. But I don't want to risk Eileen getting even more annoyed with me. It feels like I've been left to hunker down in a foxhole in no man's land. And all I could do right now is hold my helmet on tight. As the orange of the sunset starts to wane outside, it becomes obvious that nothing more is going to get done today, just as Eileen said.
Take care.
I'd better get home, it's getting late. See you tomorrow.
Catch you later!
See ya. If you ever want to draw, feel free to drop by the new art club room. Precisely none of what Eileen said penetrated, did it? I just give a weak smile as I wave and take my bag, utterly wondering if Rose will be cooking something for dinner or bringing home takeout. It's something more heartening to think about than today's efforts anyway. As I collapse onto the couch and settle in, the deafening sound of silence rushes in. The odd passing car from the street below the apartment only highlights the quiet of the room. Plugging my phone from my pocket after dropping my bag to the cushion beside me, I take a quick note of the time. I guess Rose got stuck in traffic. Can't even see the time. An annoyed train of thought starts up again as I put it away. One that's crept up on me occasionally ever since moving out. Just waiting for when nothing is around to distract me. I could cope with the schoolwork easily enough. It's mostly just review right now. People like Capri might be a handful, but they do liven up the day's routine. It's a fair distance from the campus to the campus from here, but the walk helps keep me fit. The silence. That I can't deal with. Grabbing the remote and flicking on the television at least provides some background noise, but it's no replacement for the sounds of home. There's no mother busying herself with the cooking pot to welcome me home and ask how my day was. No excitable older brothers fighting about this silly thing or that. No father for me to happily see come home from work. It's just me now. My fingers roll over the screen and thought as it brings up the lock screen, mindlessly tracing out the cracks at the bottom corner. I could easily call them right now. My mom and dad made it clear that I could ring any time at all. But as I stare at the screen, a deep apathy strikes me. Before college, I thought that my family and old friends just a phone call away, nothing would feel at all different. Maybe I just couldn't admit to myself how big of a change this would really be. Admitting defeat, the phone ends up on the couch beside me as I watch television. The news is interesting today, so at least that's some distraction from all of this. It was when I thought I finally found a friend or two in college. It ends up being a mess. Why do people have to be so complicated? As the door behind me opens, I close my thoughts on the subject. There's no point in mulling things over any further. Act 1. Art Matters. Product. The Saturday's morning air is brisk as I stagger back from the supermarket. Hands full of bags. The apartment itself may be nothing to write about, but it's certainly in a good location. Now that we're about to start Act 1, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. Ooh, it's cute. You. Nice. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I will see you later.